one of the most important things that somebody said to me was, Jesus didn't sit in his hut. Now, that's something that I knew. I knew that Jesus didn't just sit around in religious buildings waiting for people to come to him. I knew that he went out to meet them where they were, to help them, to heal them. But those words, I couldn't have expressed them so clearly. They were actually expressed by a man who wouldn't have called himself a follower of Jesus at the time. He ran a cafe on a council estate. I was trying to do a bit of, share a bit of hope in, going back about 7 years. And he came up to me and he said, I see you walking around. I see that you're not just sat in that church building, and I like that, because I don't know much about faith, but I do know that Jesus man you often talk about, he didn't just sit in his hut. That is such an important word. It's such an important reminder. I'm not here to knock church. Church is great. I'm not here to knock sort of organised programme things that churches and Christians do when they get together and run things at set times and set ways to help communities. All that stuff is brilliant. But I also know that so much of hope, so much of faith, so much of helping people in life at the right time happens in the informal. It happens in the everyday. It happens just through our friendships. And actually, that isn't always easy. You know, we've got mates, haven't we, that we prayed for, and it can be a long slog. Sometimes they seem like they're not interested at all. Even just last night, I was chatting to a mate of mine who's a rugby player, very good rugby player in the city here, and he said that just out of nowhere a couple of his mates came up to him and said, so why do you go to church? Because I'll tell you one thing, you wouldn't see me in a church building. I'd catch fire if I go in there. When he said that last night, it reminded me of exactly what was happening 7 years ago when I was sharing my faith out on this council estate. That 20 times in that first week people came up to me and said, you seem like a nice guy, but I'm not coming to your church because I'll catch fire if I go in there. 90% of people out there, they might be interested in faith, they might want to ask some questions, they might want to share and confide in somebody that they really trust, but that doesn't mean they're going to cross the threshold of a church building. And therefore it's on us, and I know we're up for this, is actually to be out there where Jesus is. And Jesus is reminding me again and again, this is the word of the Spirit I believe for this time, I'm not in the hut, I'm out there. And when you're out there, you don't have to do anything clever. Just be consistent, just be kind, just be good, just wait for the right opportunity, and you will see me at work. I printed off a few t-shirts actually, JDS, IHH, Jesus didn't sit in his hut. For me, yeah, it's mainly about sharing faith with my friends, but sometimes when I'm just walking around, I chat to people, it's a little conversation starter, I like that. Sometimes they say, oh, I like your t-shirt, what does that mean? I'm just not in the mood, and I just say it's a brand I like. Or sometimes I go, it says Jesus didn't sit in his hut, and it's just a little way in to sort of say something about the idea that Jesus wasn't religious. Isn't there stuff about religion that really annoys us? But aren't we looking for hope? But didn't Jesus talk a lot of sense? Aren't we still looking for all the things that he was talking about all these years later? So this is the first video of a few things. I'm not pretending to be an expert, don't want to start a ministry, but there's lots of people out there that I'm bumping into in this city and other cities all the time who have stories, and increasingly more stories, of sharing their faith with their mates. Let's keep praying for our friends. Let's remember it is hard. Let's remember we can't change them or change their point of view, but remember that Jesus, we can be totally confident in this, he is at work outside all of this organised church stuff, and he loves your friends more than you do. So hopefully this is the first of a few. Hopefully I'll have more stories to share from other mates who listen to this and link in and send in some messages. Please do that about where they've seen Jesus at work outside the hut. God bless. Catch up with you soon.